Hi, and welcome to Olive Between Pages. You are watching my channel where I talk about books, and this will be a video of my reading wrap up for the month of March. I read 6 books, so all in all, it's been a pretty terrific month after like a reading slump for like in January and February. All the books that I've read has been pretty terrific. There was no like less than 4 stars. And I just wanted to tell you about it. So let's start. And in no particular order, let's start with I guess this is like the first book that I finished in the month of March, which was The Will of the Many by James Allington. This was my first book from this author that I have read. However, he did write another fantasy trilogy before this one, which is pretty popular as well. So this book made quite a bit of noise into 2024 when it came out. It made to a lot of people's like best fantasies of the year, which I don't disagree. However, I did find it a little bit overhyped, I guess. Not overhyped, but like I had some issues with it that nobody seems to really talking about. And, overall, I like this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. So that half star that brought it down, that was the issues that I had with it. The world is based on a Roman Empire, historically speaking, but with kind of sort of hierarchical layout of the society, where also there's some magic involved. It is built kind of like a pyramid, and the higher you are, from the more people that you are siphoning like the will. That's what they call it. So basically, it's your like strength. I hope like it's gonna be explained a little bit better in the next book, a little bit more broader, like exactly how it works. We are following an orphan named Viz. In this book, he is 17, and this is not a spoiler because we find out pretty fast in the book. He is actually a former royalty of the country, of the area that was conquered by the hierarchy. So he was the son of the king, and his family was killed. So now he is in hiding because if anyone knows his identity, he will be hunted down and killed as well. I thought the plot was very interesting. A lot of people qualify this book like a dark academia, which is not really it. Of course, there is a school aspect to it, but it's like only the third of the book. More accurately, I would say it's at the core of it, it is a spy thriller. But in the fantasy world with magic and big like epic fantasy plot as well. I don't want to say anything more than that because I don't want to spoil it. But that's basically what it is. So one of my issues was the main protagonist. Um, Even though he's like a good guy and you want to root for him, I thought he was very too perfect. So he never fails at anything, and he's always like besting the people that like he should not be besting. I'm not gonna go into details. Maybe I'll do like a detailed review video on this where I can talk about it. But yeah, so that was like my main issue. Like at first it was okay, but then the farther you go, it's like, oh, come on, you know, let him fail at something, at least something. But I hope it is going to be kind of rectified more in the next book. I thought there was like a lot of characters that needed to be covered, so I don't think author was kind of going into as much of the like details and character development as I would have liked to. However, the world is fascinating. I thought the magic system was very interesting. The plot is great. Also, the love interest was like one of my like biggest gripes with this book. Is like she's just cardboard cutout that says love interest. Like and that's it. Character wise, by the time the book ended, I realized like I know literally nothing about her, that just her name and that she likes sweets. That's it. Oh, and she's smart apparently. Like that's literally it. um no, nothing else at all. But I did like the ending for her. So I am excited to read the next book, to see maybe if we'll get more of her and we'll finally get some character development and more personality, I guess. Seems like she's a little bit maybe not as simple as she seems. That's why it still earned like 4.5 stars. I thought it was well written, very readable. I thought it was very well structured as well. I love when a book is well structured, or like have like interesting structures, or something different. This one has a classic 3 act structure, but it was like very like defined. So I like that. So it was very nice. Next one is the book I was very excited for a long time, and I finally got to read it. This is Taylor Jenkins Reid's, and her Carrie Soto is back. So I've read pretty much every other book by her except for her like older works, which I actually want to like get to at some point. So hopefully like I'll maybe do like also a video on like all her works, like her older stuff and her Evelyn and anything later stuff, which is kind of like one universe, from Evelyn, Hugo, and all her next books are written in the same universe. But the previous works, as I understand, was more like more romance novels, but I've heard they're pretty good as well, so I want to kind of check them out too. But back to Carrie Soto is back. This is a book that follows a tennis player that we have met previously in Malibu Rising novel, which she was like a side character. I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to spoil Malibu Rising, but basically she is a tennis champion. This book takes place in the 90s. She has retired. She decides to come back into the game, because there is a like new rising star that threatens to like beat her records, and she wants to come back to the game and like prove that, like basically she doesn't want her record to be beaten. That's pretty much it. This was 5-star read for me, as like no surprise, I guess, because all her other ones were 5 stars, except probably from Malibu, but Malibu still like got 4 stars from me. I just thought the structure kind of got away from her, and that kind of brought down a lot of aspects of that book, but it was still pretty good. Was still interesting. So her works are like extremely readable. Like I love her writing. If you want to get yourself into some like literally more like literally fiction, if you're not a reader, this is the author I would recommend to kind of start it. This is like very emotional, but the end, like I don't even know, like there's nothing to critique. Basically, the book was perfect for like what it is. I was very impressed with a tennis aspect of it, because like I know nothing about tennis. I'm not really interested in like sports much either. This is why I was like again a little bit reluctant for so long to like pick up this book. What was impressive is the research that went into it to write this book. I felt like the author really knows what she's talking about, and she gives us it in a way that you also completely understand, and like you don't need to know any like a lot of technical terms or any sort of like you don't need to know a lot about tennis to like super enjoy this book. So what can I say? 5 out of 5. I cannot wait for her next book. In between my main reads, I decided to check out a series of little novellas. I'm usually not a big fan of like short books, but I do try once a while. I decided to check out a little sci-fi series called The Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. So when I went to the store to like pick up maybe a couple first books, I found this little edition that kind of has two books in one. And so this is volume one for the Murderbird Diaries, which includes All System Red and Artificial Condition, which I read the All System Red this week, which is the first book in the Murderbird Diaries. And you know what? I think this one works. Specifically because she does not try to do anything more than she needs to for like a short novella in a series. So if you don't know, Murderbird Diaries is a very popular award-winning series of short novellas where we followed this AI robot kind of entity that hacked his governing module, and now he doesn't. I keep saying he, but it actually it. It doesn't have gender. It doesn't have any sex sex organs, I guess, that would indicate one way or the other or any kind of way. It does have like a human face basically, and then no sexual organs. So that's like the entire description that you get in the book. So there's nothing about the hair or like the eye color or like whatever else. It's just literally a human face and no gender, basically. So and everybody's calling it it. So it calls itself Murderbot because of the like past incident where it kind of ended up murdering a lot of people. But that was by the order because he had to follow the order. Again, it. Because it had to follow the orders. And after that, it hacked his model, so that never happens again. And this is like so freaking relatable. Like, it just wants to like chill, don't talk to people, and watch TV shows. That's it. And here it kind of stuck on a different planet with the crew of scientists, and it was funny at places. The plot was pretty good. Again, it didn't try to do anything more than it needed to. It's very confined, and I think that's the approach that you should be taken when you are doing like short novel, like standalones novellas. That's not like a part of the like series with the full novels. I can't say a lot without spoiling. And again, it is a short book, so there's not too much to talk about. Again, if I do it, it's gonna be just like a little spoilery. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I did give it 4.5 stars as well, which was mostly because I think because of the ending, and I don't know how you feel about the ending. I was just thinking that it will take us one route, but then it ended up like taking it totally the opposite route. And I don't know. I guess I'll have to read the second book to see if I like that or not. But I thought it would make sense to take it, but that's not what happened. Again, can't say too much because I don't want to spoil it. Just go ahead and read it. Quite fun, lighthearted sci-fi, nothing too heavy. Again, like sci-fi fictiony. There are some terms, but like I guess it's very easy to grasp from the context. So I do want to see more of the world exploration in the next books, and I want to still just excited to continue with the adventures of this particular protagonist. The next two books I read is also from my list of my like TBR that I kind of made for myself before the month started, and I wanted to read like more like feminist focused, like feministic issues focused books. And one of those books was Margaret Atwood and her Handmaid's Tale, which I love the show, and I really, really wanted to read the book for like the longest time. This was not quite what I expected. I think the even though like I was obviously spoiled on like big things that's happened, um, but then again, I think why the show is so successful as an adaptation is because they expanded on the book, and but they did it like very respectfully to the source material. I did watch also, like, because I was curious, I watched the 90s movie that they made like after this book, and boy, that was bad. That was so bad. But anyways, I did not like that. It was kind of like all over the place. But anyways, the book. So the book, I think the book is not going to be for everyone, um, but I do think it is like important piece of literature, that there's like a lot of to take away from it. The plot was good, but the writing, for me personally, I think taking some getting used to. There's like a lot of flowery, metaphorical rambling, let's say that, which does make sense for the context of the book, because we are following the perspective of the of Offred. She's not named June in the book. We don't know her name. We just know the name that she was given when she was taken into the household of Fred. I do recommend, if you are buying this book, buy the edition with an introduction from the author, because that was very interesting piece of intro. It's not short, but it's like not long either. It's just like a little bit here, like a few pages, front and back, of her talking about like how she wrote the book, which inspirations she was having from, and like how she did her research and stuff, and like the references of like what's in the book, or like where they came from and things like that. However, if you are not familiar with the story, if you haven't seen the show, if you haven't read the book, I would recommend to read the introduction after you read the book, because very spoilery. However, I knew like what I was getting into, so I started with the introduction, and I thought that was very, very interesting. We follow Offred. It is like her thoughts, and it does give you the impression that you're reading kind of like the journal that she left. So it's basically like a found footage sort of story, not footage, like found document kind of thing, which does also confirm in like in the end of the book. Um, don't want to say too much more, because again, don't want to spoil it anything if you haven't read it, or if you haven't watched the TV show. A little bit of a tough read at places, but other than that, I really liked it. A piece of speculative fiction, where we imagine when the government has fallen, and the America has become this country of like Gilead, what it's called. They took the religion to the extreme. Birth rates were falling, and the babies that were being born, they were dying. It doesn't go like into much details of like what exactly was wrong with the babies, but some babies would be born like very sick, and a lot of them would die, and it was like such a rarity to like give birth to like a healthy baby, if you give birth at all. That they round up the fertile women, and they made them a handmaids. So that's basically the women that were deemed by society not good women, basically. Yeah. So like sinners. I did like it. Again, like just the writing might not be for everyone, so keep that in mind before you get into it. But I did give it 4.5 stars. I do think I'm gonna read the Testaments, like the sequel, at some point. Maybe not right now, but at some point I am planning to. The next book that I read is also from that feminist theme that I kind of set for myself for the month. And this one was also very popular when it came out. It still kind of is. Very hyped book, and it is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garment. This is a debut novel by this writer, which actually for a debut, I thought it was pretty great. I liked it. Again, I did have some issues with it, and I don't know if I can talk about them without spoiling it, but I'll try. First of all, it is very readable, so that is one of the things that is going for it. It's super readable. The writing style is great. It's very easy to read. It's structured pretty well, though I think it would have benefited from a slightly different structure to the like timelines that we follow. Basically, it starts up with a little intro in the present time, and then it goes back in time, and we start following. It's like one big flashback until we reach again the present moment, and then we go from there. It's okay, I guess, but I think some points I was like, okay, well, let's get back to the present. I'm kind of interested more like the whole premise of the book is in the present, which is, if you don't know, the premise of the book is we are in the 60s. We follow this woman who is a chemist, but due to series of events, she ends up hosting a cooking show. In this cooking show, she basically kind of mixes up the science with the cooking itself with like feminist lessons. I thought the second half of the book was much better than the first, but the first half was very. It's like she thrown like all the possible issues she could think of in it, and it's just kind of got to be like a little mixed bag. It's like they throw everything you can at it and hope something sticks, which I think it could have benefited if it would focus a little bit more narrowly and a little bit on like some themes, rather than try to cover like everything, which also like contributes into it not feeling as authentic or like believable. And there was one scene that just kind of pissed me off a little. So kind of a little bit of a spoiler, but not really. More like a trigger warning. It does happen pretty early in the book, so like I don't think it's a big spoiler. But if you don't want to be spoiled on anything at all, and you like to go in like super blind, this is your spoiler warning, and you can skip to this time after I'm done talking about. But I mean, pretty early in the book, there is a rape scene, which I thought was so unnecessary. Like, we did not need that. Like, we already had so much going on. We did not need that. And even if we did, like, it didn't really go anywhere. She does come back to it a little bit, like, at the end of the book. But again, it was so, like, on the surface, which is like, we might as well not have it. Like, why? Like, why did she have to be, like, great? I'm sorry, but so unnecessary. It did nothing for the book. It did nothing for the character. It did nothing for the plot. I would be okay if we would like at least explore her, the effect that it had on her after, but it was just for look, men are bad. Like all the men are so bad. So I didn't like how it was handled in the book. That's it. It did earn 4 stars from me, so I couldn't give it more than that, but I also couldn't give it less than that because I did finish. I did really enjoy it. It was, as I said, the second half was much better because it was much more focused and like straightforward rather than trying to branch out in all the things. And I thought like the male characters throughout the book could have been written better. They were all bad. Like even the love interest, not really good, but he was like kind of better, but he was trying to be at least. But I feel like even even in that times, like they would not all be like so single-minded, I guess. Don't want to say more than that because spoilers. If you want to read it, just read it. But anyways, there were like couple characters that were like better than that, and I thought like at the end, kind of a little bit coincidental. A lot of things and like connections. I'm like, oh, okay, coincidence, but okay, I guess. What I did like in this book is it's kind of fun, not maybe like not really funny, but kind of fun in places where it needs to be to bring a little bit of levity to it. But it is like a lot of heavy topics and a lot of like family trauma that is explored here. We also have like a dog character, and time to time we spend some chapters from not chapters but like some scenes and pieces of chapters from his perspective, which I really enjoyed. I can see how some people wouldn't. It's kind of, again, like you either love it or hate it, and I kind of loved it. I thought it was fun. I thought like the dog was awesome. It was a smart dog, so it sounds a little bit smarter than you would expect a dog, but it's still a dog, so it has that dog perspective. So that was fun. I did think that the daughter of the main character was written a little bit too much like an adult, like or like, and like it doesn't even say that she's genius, but she's too grown up and too smart for her age. And that's not to say like you can't be smart or you can't be reading, but like if you read it, you'll understand what I mean. But maybe I'll do also like a little deep dive review on this book as well someday, hopefully. But yeah, so like I thought, like even if it's like a genius child, like just the way she talks, like the things she reads, a little bit too mature as a like child character, and she's like 6 or something. So that was kind of griping me sometimes a little bit. But overall, I enjoyed this book. So solid 4 stars. Just be aware when you're going into it, like a lot of trigger warnings for this book, all kinds of trauma, misogyny, all kinds of, like, again, sexual assaults. Um, so be careful with that. But again, 4 stars. I enjoyed it. That was great. So I had to refilm a little Indian part of my video since I had a little trouble with the sound. So apparently my mic turned off at some point, and the end of the video was totally with no sound. So hence, here I am the next day. Fortunately, I only had one book to talk about left for the day before my mic turned off, and that book is The Martian by Andy Weir. Like I listened to the audiobook, and this is my second book by the author. Before that, I listened to audiobook as well, Project Hail Mary, and I gave it 5 stars because like I loved it. I thought it was very fun and very interesting read. He is quickly becoming like one of my, like, if not favorite, but like somewhere there at the top authors. So The Martian is pretty similar in premise to Project Hail Mary, which is like this astronaut gets stuck alone somewhere out there in space, or in this case will be on Mars. So we follow Mark Watney, who gets left behind by his crew on Mars all by himself because the crew thinks that he died. But he didn't, so he survived, and now he has to keep surviving all on his own without pretty much no resources, and trying to find the way to communicate to back to Earth or to his team, to let them know that like he's alive, or to have like any sort of chance. The book is written kind of in the journal log entries sort of format, that is coming from the protagonist's perspective, and with his narration. But also the second part is we reading third person narration about what's going on in the same time at the same time on Earth and NASA, and how people react into it and how they are trying to save basically him. So it is laced with what I call like now signature indie weird humor, which is not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. I've heard a lot of like reviewers who doesn't like his humor, since like it could be a little bit corny at times, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I still enjoyed it a lot, maybe even because it was kind of corny a little bit. But not everybody's gonna enjoy that. But if you anything like me, you just might. I gave it only 4 stars, mainly because it was so heavy on the science, and there was like this long stretches when he just explaining like what is he doing, how he's doing it, and like fixing something or whatever the case may be. Those kind of stretches I found it a bit boring, but then it would go back to like narration, and something fun like and interesting would happen. The ending was kind of emotional, so I did I appreciated that. I do highly recommend to listen to it in an audiobook format. On Audible, it is narrated by Will Wheaton, which like who is an actor, and I think he did like just terrific job narrating it. I really enjoyed it, and I'm one of those people that audiobooks is either like hit or miss for me, and mostly it's a miss. I only started to getting into it just maybe like a couple years ago. Finally, when I kind of discovered some books that like was working for me, and now I kind of getting a little bit more into it. But I find like a lot of books in audio format just does not work for me. Like I cannot do it. So it has to be like specific narration and specific kind of genre, or I'm very picky. So that's why when I'm telling you that like I loved it, it's really good. Because like I'm super picky. And anyways, but it is also personal, so take my advice with a grain of salt and just see for yourself what works for you. I thought the audiobook was terrific. It was very fun to listen to it. I do know the actor from The Big Bang Theory, but I know he did some like sci-fi. I think he was on Star Trek, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I never watched it. I did watch The Big Bang. So the ending was kind of more serious and emotional, which I did appreciate it. I like that the science is feels very grounded to our world and our like laws of physics and all that stuff. It's very kind of near future, very kind of trying to be understandable. Although in this specific book, I think the science didn't quite work for me. As I said, like it would get just boring at places, which like Project Hail Mary also had like a lot of like scientific, it is a science fiction, it is a spacey science fiction, but it didn't have that problem with like it would have those sciencey portions, but like I wouldn't like it would never like it just worked for me, so like I enjoyed all of it. 4 very solid stars from me. Very interesting also observation that people who read The Martian first and then Project Hail Mary, I think they like The Martian better. And the people who kind of read the Hail Mary first and then The Martian, they tend to like the Hail Mary better, which is also me. I feel like I liked it a little bit better than The Martian, but I did enjoy Martian as well. I think Hail Mary got 5 stars from me, and Martian only got 4. But not only, it's very solid, very nice 4 stars. 4 stars is good. Even 3 stars is like decent. decent book. Anything below that, then we have a problem. But anyways, thanks for sticking with me through this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you maybe found some interesting recommendations for yourself or to put on your TBR. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.